Welcome everybody. How are you doing? Glad to be with you. To be with you is nice. And we are talking about crypto today. I forgot to share the link. Let's get that out straight away. We're going to talk about why you've got more to come on the upside for crypto. Yes, indeed. And we're going to refer to that which we shared with you a while ago, including our non-farm live trading day, where we actually specified that you will be getting an environment where the Bitcoin dominance will be dropping, and that will be very good for alts. That's number one. We suggested that our friend Benjamin Cohen was actually not correct in his take, just for, just a different view. That's all. It's not a bad. We'll be wrong. He'll be wrong. We'll be right. He'll be right. It's all good. But we did suggest that these things are all going down. So come and join us. Hit the like and the share right now if you can. We are going to do a deep dive into crypto. I actually hit the go live button by accident a little too soon. So forgive me. I was trying to share this on before going live and it just went live. So we've been caught with our pants down. So first of all, I'm going to go to the charts. I'm going to show you Bitcoin. I'm going to show you Ethereum. Why it's going to continue to turn in our view to a fair degree. We'll be showing you the XLM and XRP, which are very specific tokens of great interest and potential value. And we're going to do a whole bunch more. And we'll be also talking about hype. So you'll note from the headline that we're paying some credit to Vandell and the Sun. He had a tweet out today. I was wondering about a title. Now, every time you have to go and do a title for something, and you want to say, like, what am I going to be saying this time? And, I'm going to be talking about a lot of the tokens we've already spoken about, and we're going to be talking about why we think certain things will be going up, for example, and why other things are going to underperform. And there he was with his quote, and it was immediately valid. There's been a lot of top callers. We've been saying that. There's been a lot of top callers. Some said the top was in for Bitcoin. Some said the top was in for Bitcoin, and this is now all a bear market. I was seeing quite a lot of it. Thank you from the Philippines. Shout out. Yay. And I'm also finding you over here from Australia. Here for the XRP news and the TA. Hi from Brisbane, Australia. Glad to have the Brisbaneans. The Brisbaneans are in the house. That's it. Good luck on the rugby tomorrow. Second test against Argentina. But the Pumas are a test indeed. So let's have a look at some of the charts and get cracking and show you the value add where that is. So first of all, we need to go to, I want to start on Bitcoin. As I said, we've been seeing quite a bit. So I'm going to do share screen here. Let's remember to do that. We're a little bit stupid sometimes. Too many screens up and it can get weird. So there we go. Let's go share screen. I want that without sharing all my private information. It's like, geez, it's a minefield doing this. Here we go. And let's here. So by the way, that's gold and silver. We are, of course, watching that. And I was mentioning to you that gold and silver is an absolute gift for crypto, because it is the debt and fiat debasement. You are in a debt and fiat debasement. Go to the Market Sniper, subscribe there. You'll get to know and see why we say that. But it's debt and fiat debasement, which should. So, and we are going to go and jump and see that right now. So let's start with Bitcoin because he's the big boy and see if we can get that up. It seems it's going to be an interesting day and stream. The minute we start streaming, the boys want to start throttling the internet. Let's go and see. Speed test, please. So while we're doing the speed test, let's make sure we're sharing screen. Let's try again. It's not sharing screen. Let's go one more time. Thank you for your patience there. It's kind of super dodge when all of this happens. So we're on Bitcoin. Incidentally, you shouldn't start on the 5 minutes. I've just been looking at other things on the 5 minutes and it's gone right there. On Bitcoin, but can I tell you it's about to run? It is already, and it's going to run a fair bit. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. We're not going to do too much time on the 5 minutes. I will take you higher time frame, but just let me show you tactical trading at its best that works across many time frames. Falling wedge. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see the Francis Hunt 3 impulse falling wedge, extended, choppy. You had a little bit of a basing ascending grind line there into the low. That's your end of your second impulse. The smaller and more stable doesn't always make a low. You see, you got a little bit of a higher support. You have just triggered on a 5-minute time frame on Bitcoin to the upside. We've been telling you they're all going higher, but Bitcoin dominance is going lower. The alts will outperform. Beautiful upside HVF in there as well. All of this on small time frame zones. By the way, these allow you to optimize your entries incredibly when you have big time frame setups, medium time frame setups, and you can then go down and pick the smaller stuff. Did you see that? Maybe you didn't, maybe you did. Good for you. Anyway, 5 minutes is not the place to start. We'll go up to the daily. We know the weekly and monthly pretty well. It's still never a bad idea to check in on it every now and then. So here was the broadening structure. Who told you 108 would be support? Where's that man? Somebody else was telling you it was going to go down. Quite a few people, as well as Bitcoin dominance was going to go up. As I suggested, we disagreed with those views. We said, we think you get support here. What's actually happened? You got support at that level we told you about. Key levels of significance, market sniper rules. You can learn what's important in traditional technical analysis by engaging with us and recognizing there are key seams of support and resistance and running through the flag where you consolidate on that same 108 and then having the fractal sitting just on top of that 108. All point to the 108 being a very significant number. Is there any other channel that mentioned to you Bitcoin 108,000 is a key level? There won't be, my friends. There won't be. They don't carve a chart up the way the HVF, Hunt Volatility Funnel method people do. Hence why we suspected support. Hence why we said we're going long. Hence why we said it's going to drift back up. It's going to be broadly positive without being a rip. Is that broadly positive without being a major rip? It looks pretty accurate to me. Okay, we get lots wrong. It's not for ego or braggart. It's more I'm trying to distill to you the value of the method. It's the execution of the method. It's the execution of the method that is great. We're not great. We cock it up. We're shit operators half the time. We're not seeing what we should be doing, but this is the best tool that even imperfect execution with a great tool is sitting us in such a powerful position. It just sometimes helps to have the right tools. That's the key point, people. You don't even have to be brilliant when you have the right tools to do more than an adequate to almost excellent job. So that is a rally. Now, some will look at that mini shooting star, but we're just telling you that in actual fact, on the lower time frames, it's a little bit of a falling wedge. So it's having a little bit of a pullback, grindy up. Is it where the action has been? No, not really. So there's the 2 hour. It's kind of been walking its way out like this. There you can go, can draw your channel, much like that. We do the splitter, you're in the upside of the half, but I think you are going to have a little bit of a revisit again up here. You might make marginally higher highs all the way while going up, and then come back into range a little bit later. That's not so super exciting though, is it? It's not so super exciting. That's not what you've come for. Good day, Francis, Das Stone, Paul Parker, nowhere near a top. Correct. And credit to Vandell, Versan, and the Black Swan Capital guys for just stating a simple, obvious fact, which I've now borrowed and put in the headline of the YouTube. Go and find them and follow them. Always on it. Always interesting, a great crypto channel, as is Real All in Crypto as well. There's a couple of good ones out there that don't lose their heads, and that's what you want. That is really what you want. So Bitcoin, okay. While we're still on Bitcoin, let's go BTC.D. BTC.D, and here we go. So our friend Mr. Cohen was telling you that dominance was going to turn and you're going to have more of a Bitcoin-y vibe and less of an alt vibe, which can also be a bearish environment because alts fall harder. He was going with that one. We said, no. Flaggity. Continuation to the downside. Continuation to the downside is the game. Keep on keeping on. Continuation is your friend. That is how it works. This was a grind. That was a big turn. Marginally higher high top. Over that and over that and over that. This thing was puffing its way out. The turn was coming. The turn is in. We stuck our heads out after being early twice. So as I say, we don't always get it right. Early twice, which included probably here. But this one is far bigger. Of course, you have a little bit of a stall. Hey, there's 58%, a blue line and a purple line at 57.63. That's why we have those key levels of significance on there, because we expect a continuation pattern to be needed to be formed for the run of those key levels of significance that were indicated as very significant previously on earlier episodes of the market. They were shown to be relevant and important, and I'll even show you what they were. This is a very busy chart. Don't forget, we were calling the breakout the top here for Bitcoin to dominate. This is messy business now, maybe a bit too big a time frame. Let's just go, yeah, we kind of need it to be weekly, don't we, if we want to get the whole thing in. It's just such a busy chart because we've so worked the dominance chart. We called this breakout, we called this continuation. We said you'd get a pullback here when you met this big fat line, which is the 50% of Bitcoin, and you continue to truck. You continue to truck. Where did those purple and blue lines come from? They came from downside inverted HVF structures we drew in 2021. And they gave us both the target and the key blue round number over there. And that's why you're probably having that little continuation pattern before breaking further down. We assert that we think we're on the right side of that trade, and Benjamin is wrong potentially on this occasion, although no doubt regularly accurate. And that's why we contrast our opinions on the way down. Where did that blue line, other blue lines come from? Key structures of containment here with this big containment. That was the better part of nearly almost a year on dominance in there. You had a tops and tails, you had this break-in and then a support, you had it as support there, you had that as support, you had that as support. These were key blue levels that we put in that have remained in all this time, and amazingly you had a little bit of a wind up there. So dominance, we continue to assert, is going down. That means you don't want to be in Bitcoin, you want to be in the others. On balance of probabilities, you're going to make more money elsewhere. As we state, altcoin run. You're in an altcoin run. We can invert this for you so you can see the more common way that we've shown it. It's sometimes easier for people to visualize, but this is a downside break in our expectations. Let's take our eyes off that messiness for a bit. This is typical of what we would call an inverted HVF structure. You are going to come in and make a new low. We think in and around mid-40s. You might be flat bottomed and be at 40 itself, kind of flat bottom. So somewhere along this road, you're going to have a stop. I don't think the 20%, Bitcoin becoming 20% or even sub 20% or low 20s is this current short term. I think we're going to get a turn here and then you'll get a third bounce. Whoops, let's close that like this for Bitcoin dominance. And then eventually you'll have another down leg, So you come down into here. That's what happens. So you're going to have a bounce at some point, probably in that box, and you'll make a weak rally where there'll be some Bitcoin dominance. Then you will break out. That goes through this chart to the downside. Easier to show, and we've shown this dominance chart many times before, but not always the right way up. We do it the other way around. I will invert it again for you so that you can be more familiar with it. Open anyway, he says. Never mind the icebergs, full speed ahead. That's the chart, which is sometimes easier for people to visualize and see. We are bullish this inverted chart, which is bearish the normal way around chart. And that calls for a run up to here, a pullback, and then a moon that will take you into the 20s and below. So Bitcoin is not the whole. This is my Bitcoin maxi cold bucket of water comment. And we've continued to assert this now for probably about 2 or 3 years even, but certainly for regularly over the last 6 months. And that's a key thing. So alts are the game. Great. It's nice to know what you don't have to worry about. We still have to make sure Bitcoin isn't dying. It can't die. It can't die hard. It needs to limp along. It's got 150 target to make. We are just around there. So if we go back to BTC/USD, those of you watching, by the way, how many are watching? 195. Where the hell are all of you guys? What's happened? You all been wrecked or something? 195. What's going on? No likes? You don't want to hear from me? Come on. What's going? You can do better than that. 60,000 subscribers and 198 watching. Let's hit the likes and get the stream going up. Please share it. Share it, share it, share it. Share it. Get us going. Get us heard. Help us help you. Otherwise, we don't need to do this. Help us help you. see the scene in Jerry. Help us help you, Jerry. You might remember that movie. Of course, it had Thomas Cruise in it. Let's get into Ethereum and talk a little more about that. 213 watching a bit better. So we don't need to be inverted anymore. Let's go back to normal way around. And we're going to remind you of what's been happening there. Are we the right way around? Yes, I think we are. This is Ethereum. So let's get it up. So we've set to you a target of 13,800. Now, last time you heard us speak, we said falling wedge, 3 impulse. You're going to square up and probably break out at some point. It's actually been a bit slow in coming, to be frank. It's not been, none of the things have been absolute rippers immediately when we said it. There's that second impulse, there's that third, and then you fractalized and you broke out, you had a return move. This has turned into a long, slow, low volatility rounded bottom. You don't always break out like legends from a falling wedge. There's your breakout, there's your return move. You settle down at 4,300, key level of significance. Should have a blue line through there. I've, of course, switched off the draws. Let's put the draws back on and we can see what we were thinking and how we were doing it. I want to add that, by the way. I don't do Coinbase that often. I tend to do Bitstamp. There you go. We want to capture that. And it was so beautiful. I want to show you some other stuff. We had this for a funnel on an upside HBF back then. Look how this has sat in the funnel as support. This entire low vol. And the midpoint is literally the settlement point. For this, you're talking about 3 or 4 days trading non-stop at 4,297, 4,300. Coincidence, you say? Okay, we're starting to turn up. And this is the beginning of better stuff. Remember, the big time frame is bullish for Ethereum. The big time frame is bullish for Ethereum. Despite this stop and pause. You might say, why did we stop and pause? Do you see that target being made up top there? Progress decay. Time starts to extend with no new, fresh upside, more volatility, more potential for downside. That's called progress decay. You smashed it when you hit that target, August the 13th. Then it became no interest. It was just costing you to hold a leverage trade open after that run of that target. You are still higher at that target than you are now. And now it's September, 1 month of holding and paying funding costs on your leverage trade. If you did such a thing with low leverage and real method, that's where you've ended up. That's not worth doing. That's why these numbers and other things are worthwhile having. Let's have a little look at the log scale chart and the draw. Where was that target from? It isn't just a line I stuck in. You were shown this. You were shown this. This W bottom, that right shoulder after that left shouldering over there, and off you go. You made it finally. I will point out that this pullback, however, just missed running that, but did run that. So it's not a very good pattern in terms of its eventual performance. It had a substantial pullback. So it remains on there for its targets and its information. It would have been a terrible trade because you would have got 80% of the way there and you would have had that pullback. You would have been mad to let it pull back that far against you consistently all the way down. We actually have time stops. You can find out how we do that. Click the link in the description to trade with a proven trading method. Book a call at the Market Sniper, and you too can become part of our community of alt traders. So we're going to be on the alt train more than the Bitcoin train, and it's all about which one. Some move more, some move first, etc., etc. So Ethereum is back on. Let's just take all the draws off. It's back on the setup here. It's never been off the setup, but it did have a rest. It did have a rest. Many people forget the game when things have a rest. They get impatient. Not enough money soon. You should have been a silver stacker. You're talking to a guy that who paid VAT in one part of the world and has been underwater for about 10, 15 years and is suddenly deeply in profit and making more profit. You need patience. You need patience. Not everything comes as fast as you want it to come. In actual fact, this has traveled reasonably well. It broke out. There's the first interim target. You came back. You supported on it. You've continued to move up. You've made the soft floor over here in the end around that 4,300 level. This is the next place you rest. $7,400 on Ethereum. In our opinion, on balance of probabilities, utilizing HBF method on a non-advisory basis for anyone else, that is our take on where you go next. You go next 7406, okay? And it'll happen before that date as well. So, its rate of ascent should be pretty good. I would expect it to happen. Can't guarantee you. The minute you put a timeline on it, you reduce your odds a little bit because now you're adding extra criteria. But overall, I would say that will happen reasonably promptly, which means upside, which means inflation. It means a fairly weak dollar environment. You can't have an absolutely ripping dollar. You're unlikely to have too much terrible news. You couldn't have lots of big exchanges going bust. It's going to be a broadly benign environment. If we had something horrible happen in September, October, you would at least expect that this funnel is supported on a pullback, and then you would go back up. So the journey can become interesting. There is a lot of weird out there right now, a whole bunch of weird. And who's usually behind it? You know who. You know who shot him. You all know who shot him, don't you? You all know who shot JR, Charlie, or whomever. You all know. You all know the reason why. You all know. Let's move on. XLM and XRP. So XRP, falling wedge as well, looking very good. You know the macro. We can revisit it quickly, $19.35. Don't forget, everyone else is now drawing this chart. It's become one of the most obvious and spoken about ones. They also remember to highlight that. They weren't talking about it so much during this period when we were, and everyone was saying, when XRP, Francis, you said XRP, and we had to go quiet for quite some time. When XRP, everybody real angry with Sniper. Real angry. They ordered a pizza and it didn't show up within 5 minutes. It took a few hours before it showed up. And there it came in the end. And finally they were happy. And now everybody's drawing it. That's when you know it isn't going to continue anymore for a while, until they start forgetting about it, until they stop bragging about it, until they start getting a little bit soft in their head again. We called that localized high at 3.36 on a small time frame. You're still not being consistently above it, apart from the tops of 2 weeks of a weekly candle that was not held for very long. But the good news is that is a baby falling wedge, and we will show you it on a lower time frame. We'll show it to you on a lower time frame. We go to the daily for that. Let's go and do it. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, otherwise you will not be told. You will not be told. They won't tell you. They don't want you to see Snipey. Snipey says weird things like who shot Charlie. They don't like that. They don't like it. There you go, super low vol. There was actually, believe it or not, a little fractal of upside there, and that got you started. But you can still have one more pullback, or a funnel break back into a return move. So we can still have, I'm not convinced yet it's the ripper, but it's coming. And remember the other falling wedge with Ethereum, it got put on ice. I think it's waiting for a triggering event. I think Drumpf, that's his real name. He's a name changer. That's right. He's a name changer, funded by the same criminals as usual. You don't vote yourself freedom. Stop trying. Don't even participate. If enough of us didn't participate, they wouldn't be given the mandate. They told you it's poison and you drank it. They have to tell you it's for their karma reasons. So stop voting. Doesn't help. You need to build your own community. Anyway, you can decide who that is, are going to do something that's going to give this a pop. I think you might drift off there's a chance you might drift off one more time, but we're getting very close. On an investment level, I can't afford not to be in, and this could do you rather well. Speaking personally on a non-advisory basis, my opinion is we are breaking higher here. We are breaking higher here. Whether it goes and runs the new high or it needs to a bit more gumption to get up here and then come back down and then squeeze and then get a bit more wind up ability, we don't know. It could just rip. It could just do this. It could do either. I can't tell you that for now. I'm watching it. But this doesn't look like an absolute explosion. If this is the break, it doesn't look like an absolute explosion yet. So that's more like this one, where you go a little higher, but you're not running. However, if we were to have a down leg and then we come out of that like a bat out of hell, that could be the one that takes you strongly to new highs. Triggering events. Yes, someone says it was all the juice he's been drinking. Thanks for Heckler Mining call. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. It is a ripper. And by the way, it's got plenty more to go in my take. Okay, so that's, and it's interesting how the two tokens of similar positioning are very technically similar as well. Let's not do that one. Let's go again. You can see here, very similar to the XRP. And as I would suggest, there could still be that possibility of don't be shaken out if it comes and does this. It could even go a touch lower than that. This isn't a lot lower than that. So that points to, at worst, marginally lower lows. It could even be the same or even a tiny bit higher. So you might want to set, talking to myself, of course, not you, a box to buy in there, but I would still say trade the more liquid to myself. Again, the XRP is more liquid. You're going to just duplicate outcomes. You're going to split your pot. You're going to have twice the management. Yes, if it rips, XLM percentage terms might make more, but liquidity, exit, if you're wrong, more expensive to get out, etc., etc. I would bias towards the more liquid token. Rupert of Real All In Crypto was posting something quite interesting. Don't forget to give him a follow and keep in touch about XRP increasing reserves on exchanges. So if there's a bit of surgimentals and people are buying, they put some extra stock on the shelves. It's interesting. Maybe they're preparing for an announcement of some sort. An announcement of some sort. We will see. We will see. We will see. So give him a follow on all at Real All In Crypto, as well as the Black Swan guys. Good. So let's carry on. We've spoken about XRP, Ethereum, Lumen. We've spoken about Bitcoin dominance. We are now going to take you into the weeds of hype, which we were talking about a while ago. And it had a bit of a sketchy event, but it made it in the end. Let's go T and grab KuCoin. This, we gave you a high of 59 down here. I have to draw this one again for you. It was a little bit stop-start. It came back and just missed stopping it out. I wouldn't have said it was a pleasant journey, guys, because it hasn't been. This was the draw we gave, and we've stayed on it. It also took a while to materialize. That's your setup. That's your 59. Look at how close that came. Marginally different to stopping you out. Triggered, first interim came right back in the funnel. At one wick point, it came within cents of running you out. Bear in mind, we always take off a few cents on stops, so we're below as well. So all you have to do is set and forget. But boy, you wouldn't have wanted to watch this. You would have just thought, I'm done for at that point. 42.36 was the low there. 42.39. You survived by 3 cents. I wouldn't say every time that will happen, but that was quite a bumpy ride at that juncture. If you were watching it, you would have just said, never mind, I'll save myself those last few bucks. That's why you stick to process. HVF method. You size the loss, you write the check, you leave it. You leave it. The market will do whatever it will do. You don't sit and watch. Your profits are made often while you're sleeping. You're talking about tight risk, asymmetric rewards, and you are now at 55 when that run was at 42. Looking for a 59 target run. Pulling back at the moment, a little bit of a ascending, broadening structure, but you can grind home from that. Not bad. That's not a big pattern, but it's a shorter time frame one. It's giving you something that you could play with. It's getting you an outcome. It's turning your money over, making you a profit. And the latest you would have been long is 47. and the run to 59 is decent. It's 12 cents on 47. It's about, if it was 48, it would be 25%. Is it 4 times? Yeah. So it's a little bit better than 25%, 27%. Listen, you turn 100 grand into 125 grand, you're doing all right. If you keep doing that enough times, it gets interesting. Okay, so that was hype. That was hype. There is another that we spoke of in our live trading day that most of you missed because you saved your 197 bucks, you know. You saved it. You saved it. You didn't have to spend it, you know. And therefore you missed all of this. You missed all of this. You think you could have made $197? This is a low slung one on Binance. Now, people don't like Binance because it's an exchange token. It's kind of like, oh, it's the old duct tape token onto an exchange platform. Let me tell you this thing's going some places. It's done it a lot better than a lot more better storied coins. Binance has. You know, we called it for a mega moon before FTX went bust. If only we had known it was FTX going bust that was going to pump it. We had beautiful technical setups for it. It keeps throwing up little sec. That was a bit of a flat bottom, low slung one, wasn't super sexy, but there's a 923. That's a new high. And it currently already is at a new high. And if you take this time frame off, we're getting Binance HVFs are performing, even the ugliest ones, consistently. Look at this chart on a weekly time frame. Look at it on a monthly time frame. This baby is going higher. Don't buy the dogs because they're cheap. Buy the winners because they're winning. I know you don't get that. I know you're going to go bottom feed. People are going to ask me about some token that's doing this. It's about a tiny pippy away from zero. Oh, but imagine how much upside. Look at all the sky above there. You know, we all started thinking like that. Penny stockisms. I call it the penny stockisms. Buy the winners and win, or buy the shit and have shit outcomes. That's it. That's the rule. Buy the winners to win. Do you understand that? Real simple. You thought Apple was too expensive at 200 billion market cap. You thought it was even more expensive at 500 billion. You're definitely not a trillion market cap. That's not going to last long. 2.3 trillion market. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. You buy the dominant winners that are chosen. It's not about cheap. It's about winning. If you want to win, you buy proven winners. And they're backed by the Status Corporation to bring you in. This thing is going. Where's it on the coin market cap? Let's have a look. How's it doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? 6.43. Solana is a big mover. I'm already seeing the requests on the comments asking for Solana, and I, being the kind man that I am, will now take a drive past Solana for you. XRP, not bad, not the leader. And good old Doggy. Oh my God, Doggy. There's Hyperliquid. If you were trading HVFs, you would be one of the biggest movers over the last 7 days. 18%, while other people are getting 0, 6, and 5. These all add up, guys, over time. They all add up over time. They really do. You want to be winners. You want to be in the winners. A big one like Binance done 6.43. It's got still a bit more puff. It'll get itself back up to the high points. XRP, not bad. Ethereum, a bit dull. A bit dull. You see the difference between 2, 7, and 15? You do. I know you do. So let's go and have a look at Sol. Sol is a chosen one status token. No matter how many times it fails, it's going to be like Binance. It's going to be taking out the top of all of this. That is a higher high than that, but I expect it to run that high. It's kind of a big old ascending structure like this. And of course, Galaxy got made whole with a whole bunch of cheap Sol when they lost 77 million in the FTX, but the non-preferential creditors are still sitting with their thumbs up their jacksie waiting to get paid by FTX, PwC, and Kroll. PwC and Kroll put some flipping staff on it and pay people their goddamn money back, you useless schmucks. It doesn't take 3 years to verify a human being as being the owner of the goddamn account. Stop letting your client list get stolen so spammers, scammers can all steal from people. Sort your fucking shit out and give the people their fucking money back, you stupid pieces of shit. And stop doing special deals with Galaxy that were owed, lost 77 million and got cheap pot money and ended up getting really fat and goddamn rich, an absolute gift that diminishes the pot that has to pay everybody else out, that you're pricing us in diminished dollars at the bottom of a flipping bear market. You're a criminal cartel and I hope you get sued. Pay everyone back. Do it now. Bahamas, what the hell's going on there? Are you lot flipping backward? Okay, that was your commercial break for today. Let's carry on with Sol over here and go into Sol USD. Going higher and higher. Let's see, weekly. You'd think these guys are punting and betting with everybody else's crypto and trying to make the money back, lying and cheating like absolute pigs. SBF, chosen one criminal, and all his mates that are feasting at the expense of everybody else. Usual story. Bankruptcy, take everyone else's money. Oh, we're so sorry. We went and did it again. We went and dang did it again. The tertiary extractors. So you're popping out of a rising wedge here, popping out the top. It's a type 2 pop, maybe. It could pull back, but I would actually think it's going to continue and run that high. Because we are getting into a tasty alt season. By the way, key point that we talk about, the kind of insights that you would get from us were you in our community. Click the link that is in the chat to book a call and determine whether you want to build wealth. Yes, it costs something to be in a community. Yes, you can make an absolute multiple of that investment back that you wouldn't have made anywhere else on the basis of being smarter, making better quality decisions, and compounding the best part of a crypto alt bull run. This is Sol versus BTC, by the way, on a weekly time frame. Look at that. That is turning into a very, very nice macro upside HVF. We've been watching this for a while in our community. It is coming round the mountain when she comes. Nice tabletop there. Little bit of a pullback down. This is now, with the alt dominance beating the Bitcoin dominance, likely to continue on an up leg. Do we get a small little rest and a pullback before a mega surge? That will be an exceedingly interesting trade. Sol, despite all its failings and how much the ADA folk hate it, and they're probably right, it is status, but it is chosen. It is status and it is chosen. And that's why it wins. They'll keep getting checks. They'll keep getting money. They'll keep getting chances to fix their system because the right people that are insiders, that are all about the game of capturing you into a technological surveillance society are there. All the right Kabbalists and Freemasons are there. All the punks, all the people you don't hate enough are there. There to bring the two-tier world, the supremacist society over you. They are all there. May as well make the money. It's called a hold your nose trade. Take the cash. It's better to be a rich slave than a poor one. Ask me. I knew Apple and them were going up. They went up anyway, despite my disgust in them. So next time I take the trade, and that's what I've been doing. That's why I talk about these tokens. This is going to be an outperformer, but it might have an up and over to go. That's what I mean by an up and over here. You may have an up and over still to go before you run. Sol will be beating up on BTC by market cap for a while when that moment comes. So there you go. The man who asked for Sol, you got all that and more. Now you know. Some people like HBAR and wouldn't mind a little bit of HBAR, and I'm quite happy to do that, providing if you want HBAR, you go and smash the like button because somebody cared enough to tell you an answer and try and give value to you. And all he asks is that you do certain things. Use our affiliate links. You'll pay the same price as me. Nothing is added in. Hit a like and a subscribe automatically to support us. We'll do this more. It's just how you can pay us without it even costing you anything. It's really that simple, and we appreciate it. It makes a big difference for us. We're on, by the way, 60.5. Wouldn't it nice to get to 65,000 or 66,666? Who's going to be that one? We'll see. Yeah, get us there. So HBAR. So HBAR comes in fits and surges. This is the problem with it. You need patience, or you need to have incredibly good timing to show up just before a major surge. If you're not in HBAR for that, and that, those 3 moments, 4 moments, call it 4 moments, is the bulk of the move. Let's do them in pink because they're not popping as much, and that. You know, you needed to be in for there and there, there and there, there and there, there and there, there and there. There you go. That's when you want to be. There's the H rugby posts. The mighty Bokke play the New Zealanders this weekend. Yeah, you needed to be in there 5 moments for a week and a half, 2 weeks on average. If you're not during those moments, you get a lot of this. There was also a small one here, you can say. You get a lot of this, a lot of down legs. So we need this to come down a little bit and then give us our next mini surge. I think you're going to get 3 pumps, 1 pump, 2 pump, and a 3 pump. And I think that hopefully could give us something like that. That will give you a very big pump. We're still a little further off that happening. So I'm not getting the vibes that HBAR is going to be the very first. And I like to be in the first ones because it allows you tend to make more in the early runners. That is my study over an extended period. You make more in the early runners. You also get a chance to move into other tokens that are moving later and having their surges afterwards if yours is done surging. You see that? Great. Tabletop out. Long way down. You take a lot of your moves back. You know, it's about a 50% retrace. Then you get up to here, another box. Now you've got rounded bottom and you're drifting up. I do feel there's that sell-off leg. It goes for XLM, XRP, those falling wedges. There's another bit to come. That's why I'm saying grab a little lower. Limit orders are your friend. Buying at market means you're saying right now is the moment. Very rarely is right now the moment. You should make it 100% rule that you're never allowed to buy at market. You always buy. That's where I'm at. Limit orders. And you know what? It improves your execution immensely, especially if you're going with a bit of size. You often don't realize it's a bit thin on that moment, and you smash the stack and you move the needle and you see a candle with a wick that you just made. That's very expensive, big stuffer. Don't do it. Limit orders prevent that. You can even put a limit order slightly higher than the market, but at least you prevent a spike if you're desperate to get in and you've just missed an opening. Again, not a good position to be in. But just talking to myself, of course, about execution, purely for entertainment, this channel. Are you entertained? Are you entertained? Have you hit the like button? 353 watching. So that's a little bit on HBAR. So I think if we go back to the XLM, there's some similarity to the structure, not exactly as good. It's more like a flag than the falling wedge. Some might say, well, maybe you already broke, and that's your falling wedge, and you're going to have a return move. Not quite as good as XLM and XRP. XRP probably the safest with the liquidity. XRP has liquidity. Underrated, undervalued. You don't want the biggest percentage move. You want the safest to get out of when you're wrong, and you get it wrong. Because everything you think that you can only see happening going in your way often doesn't happen and doesn't go your way. And then you got to reverse. And if they keep digging up the road behind you, it gets hard getting out. You want to stay in a place where the liquidity allows you to get out easily. If you've got a 10 grand account, liquidity isn't your problem. If you've got anything a bit bigger or you're doing anything with leverage, problem. Pax Gold is an option. But right now, I think the alts will run and will exceed the rate of ascent that the gold market will make. Time where I'm expecting a bear market or a demand destroying event that's very close, Pax Gold. If there's an HVF setup on gold like there was recently, you can take that. Destroying event, you probably want to get into stables or put into long-term investment and blow up. So yes, Pax Gold does have usefulness, and I have used it. Tuning in from California here. I booked a call with one of your people this Sunday at 8:30. Great, delighted, and you'll have a chat. And I look forward to welcoming you on board and helping you make more money in your crypto. Right, that's what we try to do, and on your gold and on everything else. Music miracles. Mr. Spoke with your team member. I'm the Bhutan guy. Be sure to get briefed. I invite you to the magical Indian Sun in US. Nice. Next time I'm there, I'll go Bhutan. Hello, Francis. Be great to hear your thoughts on Quant. Is it in a long-term monthly pattern? Let's answer Roger Jones. Quant. Roger, if you haven't already hit the like button, you know what to do. Tell everybody. 400 of you guys showing up. The other channel gets 1,000 on live streams. We need Crypto Sniper to start rocking again. This is alt run season. I'm the guy who told you about it. Others were telling you it's the top. Bitcoin has topped. Others were telling you Bitcoin dominance is going to come hard. I said, no, the alts will still come. It's a slow, it could extend. There's a lot of things that could be going on. Okay, so if we are just sometimes important to delog things so people remember. This is not a great relative performance out of Quant. It gave back its pumpermentals on listing. A lot of the greedy hogs that were given prior tokens, pre-ISO, IPO, whatever they call it, ICO, initial coin offering, suddenly ended up getting out and running, and they never really fully came back. So this is low along the bottom. Yes, it's getting a bid now and it's bottoming, but let's just talk about when you eat fish, there's certain fish that live on the bottom and they eat all the carcasses that fall to the bottom of the ocean. They call them bottom feeders. This is a bottom feeder. It is a status token. I'd expect at some point maybe, but don't be rushing in on the bottom feeders. And sometimes you have to look at a chart, big time frame, not on a log scale chart to realize this is a bottom feeder. Could it set something up of interest at some point? Yeah, maybe. But it's a bottom feeder setup. It's not been backed or supported by money on a long-term basis. It hasn't been backed up, so it's a bottom feeder. Is it going to turn and go slightly up? Yes. Are there better things to trade in? Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. So you've got it, but I don't like it. Will it go up? Yes. Other things may go up more. It's a bottom feeder, long run. Doggy's had a big day or a big week. Elongated muskiness is going to pull some scam with this token. We're almost sure. There you go. There's his cool pooch. They want to make you love it. We all love dogs, so now they're trying to make us love this because it's got a dog that marches on. This is also, again, long bottom since the 2021 hype. Then late 24, you got a partial alt run, and then everything got parked. You could argue there's a bit of a structure here. Left shoulder, W bottom, right shoulder. But this, so far, it's not a great bull market run. It's up now. It's up strong now. Other tokens look better and are higher. C, XRP, C, Tron, C, Binance. You're better being in a proven winner. It's safer, it's more liquid. But it is up today, and every now and then it will make the top of the pops. That's weekly. If we do the daily, we will find this W bottoming stuff. You can do a neckline there, for example. Normally we do them in blue. Little shoulder, W bottom, quite a deeper shoulder here. And you're still not up there. Do I want to be in it? No. Does Elon probably have some plan for it at some point? Probably yes. Big falling wedge, broke out, return move, broke out, return move slowly. Another bottomer here. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. There are better tokens available. Doesn't work for me. E-God token. Yeah, says somebody, Elon. Good. So that's Doggy. What else on the final thing? We're going into the weekend. We're calling ongoing creep up in the alts. We can have a look at Tron. It's in the top 10. Cardano keeps disappointing a little bit. Chainlink. I'll do Chainlink and I will do Cardano and Tron. Let's do that. Let's finish on that lot. Compared to some of the other things you've seen, this one creeps up. Let's go. Somebody's got a bit more history. Go on, give it to me. Take the T off. Bitstamp, is it? There we go. Much better chart. Natural inflation as an investment hold pot will do a lot better. Will do a lot better. Yes, Almir, make sure you've shared. We're helping you. This is much better. This is a real smile. This is a watermelon smile. There. It's a lopsided watermelon smile. You can even do it like that. And then you have another one like this. And then you're making another one like that. Tron is a great investment hold. Plus, if you hold it in a wallet, they give you more. They give you more. What's not to like about that? Trading at 34, by the way, we got involved at 6 cents. Down here on the setup there. It was the strongest during the bear market. It never went below 5 cents. Well, it did. That's not accurate. I take it back. It went slightly below 5 cents on a given week, but never once closed below. See that? All the others traded lower. The first slap of the bear market, it never went lower than that moment. The rest of the bear, consistent. It was well backed at 5 cents. The people that well backed it are now 7x up. That's your localized high, 7x up. And you often get these localized highs. You go on to beat them and make new ones. Localized high, you go on to beat them. You will go on to beat that. It's a very good token. It will serve you well. It will serve you well, he said. So we talk about, and that's got nothing to do with that oily character that was once involved with it. It probably still is, but not actively, Justin Sun, with Drumpf and all of his friends. What was the other two? I said ADA, long-suffering ADA fans. Can you see the difference between Tron and the last high and ADA? Can you? I had a difficult job over the last 2 years convincing ADA holders they should rather be holding Tron. For 2 years, I said it. For 2 years. Last high was there where Tron ran, when ADA ran early. It is 71% down. You are in an alt bull market. You've already had a partial run. It didn't do near as much. It did this move here. Where's all the ADA fans? Come on. I'm going to pour pain on you. And you've got to accept it. You are 71% down on the 2021 high. While Bankman-Fried was plotting to steal everybody's money and running a shit show. 71%. The previous token I showed you, Some believed me, some didn't. 2021 high here. It's a massive difference. Can you understand if you were an ADA guy and you listened to me in the last 3.5 years, from 21, it was what? Mid-year, April. So it's even 4 years. You are 100% up on just investment pot from the last bull market. High. The highest point of the last bull market in 21. You're 100% up just for sitting in the token I said you should have rather than ADA. Can you imagine doubling through the shittest period, the bear market? Yeah? Can you imagine doubling from a spike high versus being down 71%? So let's take 100 grand. The guy on 100 grand at the peak of the last ADA bull market that had ADA has now got 38 grand. And we're in an alt bull market already, and we've already had a mini surge here in the end of 24 into December. We've already had the first part of the move. You're at 38 grand. If you had bought, pivoted, as I was saying in the community discussing, your 100 grand into Tron instead and sat it out, you're on 200. 38, 200. Now imagine your portfolio was 250 at the high. Can you see how that number gets bigger? 30%, 250. Less than a third, you would probably be at under 80 grand on your 250 versus 500. 80 to 500. And so the maths goes on. If you're at 1 million, you'd be at 2 million today, or 300,000. 38,000, 380,000. 2 million or 380,000. Which one do you want? That's what you pay for. That's what you get if you apply HVF method, the rules, the thinking. What is my collateral in Tron? By the way, it doesn't include the fact that you would have accumulated additional Tron. Just the initial amount that you got would have doubled, and you would, for holding since 21 to today, have accumulated a god-awful additional amount that's all now valued at 35 cents, not the 5 cents of support in the lows of the bear market. It's quite simple, guys. Is that alpha or isn't it? You think, oh, I don't want to give away my precious capital to sniper. Okay, don't. Hold on and lose 71%. Hold on and be already halfway through an old bull market and at 38% of your previous all-time high, or be double with the best still to come. It's up to you. There is no more stark example. I just stumbled on this. You wanted the next ones. You wanted to see Tron. You wanted to see ADA. I'm showing you. I'm making a point. You take it or you leave it. That's what you pay for. And you think, well, now I know. Now I don't need to pay. Until something changes and you don't know again and you're not being updated. That's the key thing. That's a key thing. So we said ADA, what was it? ADA, Tron, and I think there was it Link? Yes, let's go Link anyway. Link, 368 watching. It's not a Tron. Is it? It's not a Tron. I mean, is it? Am I wrong? It's not a Tron. It's not even an XRP. It's not an XRP. Do you want it? It can run. It'll probably overnight have a big spike. It won't be the first. It isn't the best. You don't really need to be in, for me, you don't need much more than 3 or 4 coins. I don't care if you've got 5 million, 10 million portfolio. You don't need 30 coins just to say, I was in that one too. I was in that one. They're going to underperform. It's much better to have significant amounts in the most winningest tokens. The most winningest tokens are the ones you want to hold. Link, for me, it's not quite there. It's not the worst. It's not a bad one. It's going to run. It's going to be higher. But you will do better with better liquidity, better access. better investment gains and better trading gains on a bigger market cap on something that will outperform. That's it. So you want to go back to XRP, Tron, and even there's a lot of things that will not be beating even Ethereum to a 14,000 run, 13,800 run, 13,800 run. You'll do quite a bit better and a lot of other things. Final one, XCN. Final one, XCN. So let's just prove that point. Divide link by. You see that bottom feeder stuff? This is where all the plankton eaters live and the carcass feeders. That. And you all go, oh, but it's cheap. It must go up. No. Winners are winning. Plankton eaters and bottom feeders are bottom feeding. In that relationship, apart from a listing pump, it's a bottom feeder relative to Tron. Yeah, it'll stir. It'll have another bump and back down again, and another bump and back down again. Okay, point made. Point made. He hammers it home. Point made. ECN, a lot of you ask about this one. It's going into the weekend. ECN is at least on the high side since its listing. It's been smacked hard before here, but it recovered a bit. At least relative to its high and its listing period, it's very close to within its highs. So it has better general relative strength than some of these later coins you've been having me look at. It is only 7.2% off its high. Now, I'll be saying to you, Tron is probably, because of a spike moment, is probably also off its high. Had a real spike moment, and that was a bit blow-offy. Yeah, it's 22%, but that's a bit of an exception, and it will get there. I would still favor it over that. If you look at XRP, distance from high, I think it's even closer. No, maybe not. These are relative benchmarks. Divide them out by each other. It's 16%. Yeah, so pretty good in terms of close to its high. It doesn't have the same history. That's why it's harder for these others to meet that. Doesn't have the same history. Is there any real pattern? ECN, USDT. Daily. Again, similar to the Ethereum, the falling wedge into rounded bottom. Real low vol here. You want a key level of significance drawn through there. That's where it paused. That's where it was. That's where the train slept the night. That's the train station where that carriage slept overnight. It was happy to be there, mutually happy to be there. That's a key level of significance, as we've discussed before. Like the 108 on Bitcoin that nobody else told you. We told you. Support at 108. You heard it here on this YouTube 3 videos back. Support at 108. Watch it. It's not a top. The markets do not die like this. There's no hype in crypto. Listen to Versan. Wise words from others. There's other people that say wise words too, you know. Markets don't top on a zero hype. No one's talking about crypto. You're all wrecked because you haven't been trading HBF method. You've been saving that membership fee. And you're now wrecked. That's it. You're all wrecked. You're all miserable. Doesn't feel like an alt run. Where's my 10x, my 30x? Why me no rich? When Lambo? When Moon? What happened? Let me tell you, it's going to happen. It's busy happening. It's slower and longer. It's not going to be so easy. Welcome to the world of precious metals, silver, miners, traders, and holders. You're going to have to learn and grow. You're not getting dog years anymore in crypto. Cycles might extend. Grow up, be mature, accept it, appreciate smaller gains more. Pile them on top of each other. Accumulate something for a while instead of just overnight Xing. There are no more overnight X's of cheapness. There'll be a spell or two. But you're never going to have 2017 again. It's over. You're not going to have 2016 into 2017 again. You're not. You might get a surge if we get a major debt deflation crash, maybe. Could it meet that? I'm not sure. It had to grow to its current size. You might never see it again. Don't count on seeing it again. Treat it, set a low bar, and then collect consistently. Be methodical. That's my take. That's my preaching to you. $400 Bitcoin was nice. I'm not wrecked. I was buying Bitcoin at 18K. Good for you. Well done, Jay. HBAR at 7 cents, ETH at 1800. Then you're doing all right. You're doing all right. Yeah, you're doing all right. Good, guys. Thank you for checking in with us. It's the weekend. Thank you for being subscribed and hitting the bell to be notified. I am done telling you what I think is going to happen. I think this is a stirrings. This is a basement. The good thing about this, you haven't made big amounts of money. Let's just take this ETH chart. But you've established a very clear support that has held with a rounded bottom. That means you're probably not breaking down. You're probably not breaking down, and you're probably getting drift buying. Is there lots of enthusiasm? Not yet. It's coming. We're waiting for a kicker, the spark, to reignite crypto. We're waiting for the kicker and the spark to reignite crypto, but you have foundational flaws. You have the 108 on Bitcoin that it's traveling away from, having touched and just run. And as long as that is staying above and drifting up, which it was too, you are going to be doing just fine. In the meantime, you get to place your bets in anticipation for when that major surge might come. There's good old Bitcoin, and that's its bounce off there. Back into the range of this broadening structure. It's not going to, I don't think it's anything too fast and immediate. You're going to have to be patient. But if you were buying the lows, as we had said we were doing, you might have done okay. The market's moved away from you, but it's not your 10x just yet. But in course and time, this consolidatory period will get a triggering event that will see you benefit to the upside. These are not market tops. This is an alt run. You should be alt dominant, not Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is doing okay. It's doing okay. It's surviving and bouncing off support for now. If it runs the 108, when are we wrong? So we could always be wrong, and the other people could have always been right. Maybe it's just too soon. What they say will still happen. A fast and violent break taking out these lows of the 108 would lead us to reconsider our views. A fast and violent breakdown to through the 108. And also, by the way, if you had if it broke down to here, for example, hard, violently, and came to the 99-100 level, fancy that, key law of round numbers, and then you bounce back up to the 108 to make a shoulder, then we would be on, then I'm in the, hey, we've topped bear market camp all of a sudden. Until it does that, I keep on keeping on, assuming continuation, and we noted the support hold here and providing it remains the same. That's how we change our tune. I've just given you one example. There always must be. Price behavior will change tunes of us. It's not flip-flopping with new information to come to new conclusions. Many don't get that. We will change opinions, and we will faster than others as well. And that's a virtue and a skill, not sticking to your guns and being a burger flipper. Okay, now you know how it works. That's how we be wrong on Bitcoin. That's how we say, okay, it's all off on everything else. Okay, until next time, I'll catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Have a good weekend. Get some good rest. Don't spend all the time on the screens. And know your enemies. Know your enemies. How they love to kill you when you ask the wrong questions. Indeed, indeed. Until next time, speak to you then, guys. Bye for now.